Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Let's Trek Together video. You're going to want to buckle up for this one because it's going to be a pretty long ramble. Most of our videos, if you've seen any of our videos in the past, have been formatted to be clipped so that you don't see a lot of the filler stuff like pointless pointless rambles, just not important events of either our vlogging on trail or vlogging off trail. However, I wanted this to be an open discussion, and I wanted this to just be a conversation, and there's a lot of things I need to cover, so I'm just going to leave this one take unedited. We're just going to jump right into it. So as you can see from the title of the video, we are going to be talking about reasons we got off trail, what the trail was like while we were on it during the beginning of this crisis, and what our plans for completing a through hike this year entails, and what our ideas are. I mean, we don't really know what's going to happen, but we at least have ideas of what we could possibly pursue in the near future. So let's just jump right into it. I have my laptop with me just because I get camera brain, and what I mean by camera brain is whenever you stare into a lens for a little too long and you're just rambling about something, a lot of times you kind of forget where you're going with it. And so I have this laptop with just a few notes jotted down, so I make sure that I cover everything that I need to in this video. I also have, this probably looks really gross in the camera right now, but I have a raspberry emergency that I'm drinking just to keep my immune system as strong as I can. Cool. So I think I'm gonna ramble just about what the past 4 days have been like since coming home. I'm gonna put a timestamp in the description for you to click on if you would like to skip to the main points of this video. However, I mean, I don't know what you guys are really doing. If you want to just sit with me and just listen to me ramble and sound like an idiot half the time, just, I don't know, come along on the journey with me. So we decided to get off trail Friday, March 27th. Today is Thursday, April 2nd. I had a look at my calendar. That's when you know you're in quarantine and you've kind of just lost track of days. So I think this has been, what, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, day 6 of quarantine. However, Molly and I have only been home since Sunday, so this is, I guess, day 5 of quarantine. Wow, that felt like a lifetime ago. It's good to be home. It is. Like, I love seeing my family. It's great to see them. I do love my own house, and I love being here. But I am very shell-shocked at the moment, going from through hiking, which is the ultimate freedom, to kind of being locked up and told to stay home is something that I'm trying to cope with at the moment. But yeah, I feel like all of you are as well, so I guess we're all in this boat together. What else? Yeah, so we are both home in New Jersey. I am at my own house, my parents' house. That was where I was living before. That is where I'm living currently. And Molly is also at her parents' house. And again, that's where she lived before. That's where she's living currently. When we got home, her parents requested that we isolate each other for just a few days, just to make sure that neither one of us comes up symptomatic. And before any of you go down in the comments and start writing that one of us has the virus, no, at the moment I don't believe I have the virus, but you can understand that traveling from Jersey down to Georgia back up to Jersey, there is a scare that all the traveling one of us might have contracted it, but I really doubt that since we've been in the woods for like 90% of those 2 weeks. So I'll see her in a few days, but aside from that, I've just been working on the YouTube channel, editing some videos, just catching up on my life, getting music back into my life, since I was a music major and I was a music teacher before this, playing piano again, playing guitar, going out as much as I can to go on hikes, but I think I've only done it twice so far. Yeah, so it's just finding the new normal is definitely where I'm at the moment. Yeah, I don't think I have much else to say regarding being home. I'm gonna say one last thing before I jump into the main points, and this is important. So I probably put the timestamp here for it to start. Please do not skip ahead. Just please listen to this for just 30 seconds. I promise you I'll be quick. So there has been a lot of negativity both from people on trail and from people off trail. A lot of hatred and harassment and almost bullying from both the thru-hiking community and the non-thru-hiking community. And I just wanted to address some things. If the thru-hiking community prides itself on its communal qualities, I find it very immature that many of them are going on other thru-hikers' YouTube pages, just social media in general, and writing really harassing negative comments to get off trail. I do understand that this is a very unprecedented situation where we don't know what the right decision is. However, like I said, if the thru-hiking community and everyone surrounding it prides itself on its communal qualities, I don't believe harassing someone to get off trail is an appropriate response. It makes me sad to see that so many people are not trying to be kind and compassionate to these ones that are still on trail. We don't know their situations. I personally know a couple that is on trail. I'm not sure if they've gotten off or not. I'll leave their names anonymous. However, they sold both their cars and their house just to make this dream possible. So at this point, they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I encourage you that if you are going to try to encourage someone to get off for the safety of others, that you have an open discussion and you be kind and considerate rather than being manipulative or being just a bully to them. I live by this quote, and I'm going to stand by this quote. Just because it is your opinion does not mean it's correct. So really think about that before you post a hateful comment on a current thru-hiker. So yeah, sorry. That didn't mean to go into a really sad space. Let's just jump right into it, and I guess let's start off on what the trail was like. So Molly and I we started at Amicalola Falls on March 16th, which was a Monday. Everything was normal. Thru-hikers were getting their badges, their tags. It was great, it was fun. No one was really even talking about Corona. I know before we left Jersey, a few days before, there were a few positive tests that came up, but no one really thought that it was a thing. Everyone just associated it with Ebola or swine flu. So no harm, no foul. No one was thinking anything. No one was thinking that this could have escalated. So we started our hike on March 16th. And on March 17th, the next day, Molly and I were probably about 12 or 13 miles into, I think, our 13, 14 mile day. So we were pretty much at the end of it. And we had a little reception on top of the mountain. And we got an email from the ATC, which is the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, that they were recommending for thru-hikers to pause their thru-hike and to get off trail. This was just a recommendation. They right underneath the recommended get off, it also stated if you are going to stay on, here are the things that you need to take precaution to, like do not stay in shelters, just social distance if you are going to stay on. So Molly and I thought, you know what, this will probably last a few weeks. We will do our best to social distance, conversate with hikers, but stay far away from them where we are not passing germs. And just see what happens over the next few weeks. So that was definitely the first glimpse into what was happening, but we didn't really process that it was going to be this big. We get into Hiawassee, Georgia, probably about 3 or 4 days. Either 4 or 5 days into the trail, and that was kind of our first glimpse into like, oh, this might be like an actual issue. If you've watched our vlogs, you can see that we went up to the Taco Bell drive-thru because the actual inside of the business was closed. This was kind of normal to us already because we were being relayed information from our parents at home in New Jersey, where this is a way worse case at this point in time. And they were saying how businesses were already closing, especially restaurants were already closing and only doing curbside or takeout or pickup. So this was normal, but we were definitely realizing that there were going to be obstacles trying to get through this thru-hike. Logistically, it was going to start becoming more and more challenging. Kept going. Like you saw, met Kyle and Corey, started hiking with them right out of Hiawassee. Made it to Franklin about 3 or 4 days later. I think we were trying to do a 6-day stretch, but Molly was in a lot of pain, so we decided to get off trail a little bit early and get a ride into Franklin. Again, everything was normal. However, at this point, the Facebook groups were blowing up, and just every negative comment that you could see. Get off trail. You're harming everyone. You're hurting everyone. How dare you act like you're righteous or above not getting off trail. Everything started flooding in. There were other Facebook groups that were just dedicated to ones that were staying on trail and to exclude all the negativity. But it was definitely starting to become a burden staying on trail rather than an enjoyment at that point. The Dollar General that we were in Franklin, it was only open from 8 to 9 a.m. It was only open for 65 plus, and then the rest could shop there after 9 a.m. So we started realizing, like, okay, like the mid-Atlantic area where we are from, New Jersey, New York, it's already a big issue up here. And now the ones down in Georgia, Carolina, like they're starting to freak out too. Like this might be big. Like this might not be, this thru-hike might not be obtainable right in this moment. Decided to go on still just because lodging was still open. Everyone on trail was still acting pretty normal for the most part. No one was really freaking out yet. And then this is where things escalate like really fast, and this is where we get off trail. So we finish our 0 in Franklin, we get back on trail, and we hike, I think, for 2 days. Yeah, we hike for 2 days. That first night we are back on trail, we're looking through Facebook, and we're seeing that the government is starting to close down parts of the Appalachian Trail. We knew that the Smokies were going to be closed, so we were just going to skip the national park itself and then eventually come back to it. However, we didn't realize that they were going to be shutting down national forests. They were shutting down Cherokee, they were shutting down, the Georgia National Forest is not coming into my brain. It is a very long Native American name. I can't think of it. But anyways, they were shutting down that, and that's 90 to 100 miles stretch of the Appalachian Trail. I'm not sure. I personally don't know, just because there's a lot of misinformation being passed around at the moment. I'm not sure if you can still hike through those parks without, or those sections of the Appalachian Trail without being fined or whatever, but from face value, it looked very, very, very impossible to like push on further with the Appalachian Trail. Decided, hey, I mean, no one's really stopping us at the moment, and no one's threatening us to about the law or to fine us, so let's just keep going. Really, being in the woods is our safest option at that point. We made it to Winding Stair Gap, which is where we were originally going to go into Franklin from, but we made it there on our second day back on trail. And at the actual gap, there were papers posted everywhere saying you cannot go on trail, you cannot go past this point. Dawson County is closed, meaning everywhere from Franklin to the start of the Smokies was quote unquote closed for non-residents. It was only open for residents. So I'm not sure if that was federally mandated or state mandated, but it honestly didn't really look like, it kind of looked like someone went onto Microsoft Word and printed out a paper saying danger beware. But we just wanted to respect whoever typed up that paper, if it was the ATC, if it was not. We just wanted to respect that and get a ride back into Franklin just to really figure out our options at that point. So luckily a dude whipped around the corner and picked us up within like 30 seconds of us thinking, what are we going to be doing? Picked us up, brought us to Franklin, went to Outdoor 76. They said that they were going to be closing their store, and that like they really recommend that we get off trail just because stuff is starting to hit the fan at this point, and resources are becoming low and all of that. So we decided to call a shuttle to pick us up, to bring us from there to Standing Bear Farm Hostel, just because Franklin itself was actually, all the lodging in Franklin was going to be closing. I don't know for how long. I don't know if it was for a week or for a month, but they were closing. And so we were going to get a ride up to Standing Bear, stay at the hostel, figure out if hot springs was even an option, and then go from there. So did our laundry at Outdoor 76. They're a great outfitter, great company, really nice guys. Did our laundry, picked up food in town and was able to eat it at the outfitters. Pretty much just got our whole life situated. And then the shuttle came and picked us up, and she was a very nice lady. However, we did feel a bit harassed into getting off trail by her. I know her intentions were absolutely like pure and good, but she was very emotionally driven, just trying to be a little too motherly to us, even though we really never met her. It was just a very uncomfortable situation. And she was dropping off another guy in Asheville, North Carolina, and the hotels there were a lot cheaper than Standing Bear Farm Hostel. So we decided to also be dropped off in Asheville and sit down as a group, the four of us, and really talk out like what are we going to be doing? Like, what is our intentions without any outside noise, without any shuttle drivers or outfitters or the ATC or the government. We just didn't want any outside noise. We just wanted to really sit down and talk about, is this worth going on, or should we pause our through hike? So I guess that leads me into the next point of why we decided to get off trail, just aside from the obvious reason that there is this virus going around. So that night we sat in the hotel and we really talked about it. And I think the main reason why we decided to get off was because we weren't experiencing the community aspect of this through hike. We all picked a northbound of the Appalachian Trail for the community. You don't do a northbound of the Appalachian Trail and assume that you are going to be alone on the entire thing. The whole first week, when everyone was mostly still on trail, it was just so nice to meet all walks of life and to go into Hiawassee and meet a lot of great individuals. Just that was the experience of not only completing 2,193 miles and doing this as a physical challenge, but also just as a social challenge. Like, get out there and meet a lot of interesting minds and really just have stories to come back and tell. And for us, we weren't having that communal aspect anymore of the trail. Like, I think in the last 3 or 4 days that we were on trail, there was maybe 4 people a day that we would see, 5 people a day. It was pretty empty. And some days I love that, but most days I want to meet people. Like, I want to see people. I think that was the main driving force on getting us off trail. Another driving force was the fact that there were all these threats of this closing and that closing and that closing. I don't want to take it lightly. Like, I do respect whoever is trying, whether this is the federal government or the state government. I 100% want to respect their wishes and their rules. However, we did it more for our family's aspect. I know if all of this information was being relayed up north and it wasn't being relayed by me, but by the news or by other media source, my family would be very concerned and freaked out for my well-being and my safety. And so just coming home and putting this on pause, I think, was the smartest solution, at least in that regard. I'm not sure if there's any other reasons. Of course, the reason to get off trail that everyone has been saying is to make sure we are not impacting the small trail towns that we are going through, and make sure that we are not spreading the virus. I don't want to jinx it. I'm sure that this virus is going to get worse, and I'm sure that it is going to spread across the United States, which is a terrible, terrible thing, but it's something that we all have to brace for. However, I'm not quite sure that getting every single thru-hiker off was the correct solution, or maybe the way they approached it was not correct. I'm not sure. It was very off-putting for me, and yeah, if I can go into a whole different video about that. If you are interested in seeing that video, let me know. But yeah, I'm not gonna ramble about that in this video. But yeah, I guess there really aren't any other reasons why we got off. Community aspect, being good citizens and making sure the virus doesn't spread, and making sure that our families have peace of mind while we are out through hiking were our big 3 reasons. I guess the last thing that's left to talk about is now, what are our plans? What are we going to be doing in regards to the Appalachian Trail? And we definitely have a game plan. I hope that our first route is the one that we can take, but it's good to know that we have options. So if we can get out on trail by May 15th or sooner, we will leave right off from where we stopped in Franklin, start at Winding Stair Gap, and go all the way northbound to Katahdin. That would mean we would hit Katahdin probably like early October, which is a good time to summit, because after October, the weather gets pretty gnarly up there. So if we can get back out on trail, if this virus dies down, hopefully in the first week of May, it's honestly not looking too likely, but hopefully we can get back out there. If by May 15th, we will continue a northbound thru-hike of the Appalachian Trail. If it is after May 15th, we're definitely going to have to assess how many days after. If it's a few weeks after, maybe we'll still try to do northbound. If it's a month after, we are either going to be flip-flopping, meaning we are going to be starting at the halfway point in Harper's Ferry and going up to Katahdin, and then going back to Harper's Ferry and going south back down to Franklin and completing it like that. Or we will be doing a southbound hike of the Appalachian Trail. I'm not sure how many thru-hikers are planning on doing a southbound hike. I feel like flip-flopping and southbound is going to be pretty evenly divided just based on time, and it really depends on what the timeline of this virus looks like, but those are our plans. Our intention is to finish this through hike by the end of 2020. We are not putting this off till 2021. This is we have to finish this now type of ordeal. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say in this ramble. Yeah. We are definitely going to be coming out with a lot more videos on this channel. Just because our through hike is paused doesn't mean this channel is being put on pause. If you guys have any suggestions for videos, feel free to shoot them at us. We have a few ideas that we're going to be coming out with in the next couple weeks, but we definitely want to be making videos that you guys are enjoying. If you haven't already, please subscribe. You can click that little red arrow thing down in the right corner. Click that, click subscribe. Please do. Yeah, I hope you guys are all staying healthy and safe during this mentally and physically scary time. Please social distance just to protect not only you, your family, and your neighbors, but just to protect, you know, your friends and your friends' families, and just be a good citizen. Be aware of your surroundings. Wash your hands. Do everything that is necessary. Smile when you can. Get outside as much as you can while still keeping a safe distance from others. And yeah, if anyone has any comments, questions, concerns, feel free to drop them down in the comment section. We would love to start a conversation with you guys. And as always, let's trek together.